I thought I'd be crushed, excluded from my own cousin's dream wedding, because they called me too dramatic. But fate had a wild twist in store. The day I was left out, I stumbled into a stranger's ceremony, and suddenly, I wasn't just attending a wedding, I became the star of a story the internet couldn't stop talking about. I never imagined that a simple family gathering could turn into the most chaotic day of my life. But there I was, standing outside the grand hall, peering through the frosted glass doors of my cousin's dream wedding, feeling like I didn't belong in my own family. The reason? They called me too dramatic. Me dramatic? I had laughed at their pompous Instagram posts, maybe cried a little too openly during emotional toasts, maybe expressed myself a bit too passionately, but too dramatic. That felt like being banished to a social purgatory I didn't even know existed. Earlier that week, my cousin had called me with what I assumed would be a warm invitation. Instead, she sighed in exasperation and said, "Honestly, maybe it's better if you just don't come. You'll make everything awkward." My heart had stopped. I asked if she was joking, and she insisted she wasn't. Texts, calls, even a half-hearted apology from my aunt, nothing could shake the humiliation. I was officially exiled from what was supposed to be the happiest day of our family's life. I tried to shrug it off. Fine, I muttered to myself, stuffing my carefully chosen outfit into the back of my closet. I decided I would take a long walk, maybe drown my sorrows in coffee, or binge watch some old drama series. I never expected that a wrong turn would lead me to the strangest, most exhilarating experience of my life. The sky was gray, a gentle drizzle softening the edges of the city streets. I wandered aimlessly, headphones blasting a mix of indie rock and melancholic ballads, each note echoing my own mood. I had reached the outskirts of a park when I noticed a small, intimate wedding happening behind a wrought iron gate. It wasn't advertised. No social media posts, no flashy banners, just a handful of elegantly dressed people gathered under a floral arch. Curiosity pricked at me. I edged closer, staying hidden behind a cluster of bushes. The bride was stunning, her white gown flowing like liquid silk. The groom, equally handsome, looked nervous, but deeply in love. I couldn't resist without thinking. I stepped closer, accidentally knocking over a small lantern. The clatter was enough to draw a few glances, but instead of scolding me, the bride smiled. And that smile, it stopped me cold. "Are you joining us?" she asked, tilting her head with a mix of amusement and curiosity. "I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to be here," I stammered, heat rising to my cheeks. But something about her demeanor made me pause. No judgment, just warmth. I don't know anyone here," I admitted. "You don't have to," she said. "Sometimes weddings are about more than family. Come, enjoy it with us." And just like that, I was invited in. The day transformed almost instantly. The strangers welcomed me with open arms, offering champagne, hors d'oeuvres, and smiles that felt genuine, something I hadn't felt in years with my own family. I laughed, danced awkwardly at first, then with abandon, letting the music take over my body. I was no longer the dramatic cousin who wasn't allowed in. I was just me. It wasn't long before my over-the-top personality, the very thing my cousin had scorned, became the highlight of the event. When the DJ played a classic love song, I grabbed the microphone during an open mic toast session. What started as a nervous mumble turned into a passionate, heartfelt story about love, loss, and the importance of celebrating life's unexpected moments. People laughed, some wiped tears from their eyes, and a few even recorded me on their phones. I noticed the bride whispering to her friends, pointing in my direction. Before I knew it, everyone was gathered around, listening to me. I was telling a story, performing a tiny one-woman show, and they hung on every word. I felt alive, radiant, and viral before the internet even knew I existed. By the time the ceremony ended, dozens of strangers were complimenting me, asking for selfies, tagging me in posts with captions like, "Unexpected guest stole our hearts." And who invited this legend? I couldn't believe it. All the rejection, all the humiliation from my own cousin's wedding. It didn't matter anymore. Out there, in a completely unknown crowd, I was celebrated. Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an amber glow over the small garden, the bride approached me again. "You were amazing," she said softly. "Honestly, You made today unforgettable. Thank you for showing us the joy of being unabashedly yourself. Her words struck me like a bolt of electricity. For the first time in a long while, I felt seen, not judged, not excluded, not too much or too little, just seen. I left that wedding with a new perspective. My cousin's rejection felt petty in comparison to the genuine human connection I had just experienced. I realized that sometimes being too dramatic isn't a flaw, it's a gift. A gift that could light up a room, a wedding, or even the internet, if you let it. By the next morning, I had no idea that this small, accidental adventure would explode online. Videos of me performing my spontaneous toast circulated on social media. Hashtags went viral. Strangers recognized me on the street, and my inbox flooded with messages from people wanting to collaborate, celebrate, and share stories. I had been excluded from a dream wedding, humiliated in my own family, and yet, in one unexpected twist of fate, I had found my moment in the sun. And this was only the beginning. Little did I know, my life was about to spiral into a whirlwind of fame, drama, and opportunities I never could have imagined. From that day forward, every too dramatic comment, every roll of the eyes, every whispered insult from my cousin's friends would seem trivial, because I had discovered the power of being unapologetically myself, and the world was finally watching. The next morning, I woke up to a storm, not the literal kind although the rain from the day before had left the city streets glistening, but a digital storm. My phone vibrated endlessly, each notification a spark of chaos and excitement. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even LinkedIn somehow had updates about me. Videos of my impromptu toast at the stranger's wedding had gone viral overnight. I blinked at the screen in disbelief. Who is this girl? One comment read. Another said, she just stole a wedding. Literally, iconic. And yet another, send this woman a reality show. Now, my head was spinning. Just yesterday, I was rejected, humiliated, and excluded. Today, strangers across the world were praising my dramatic personality as if it were a superpower. I tried to process it logically. This was insane. I hadn't even asked anyone's permission to record or post the videos. My moment had been entirely organic. But the internet doesn't need permission. It runs on virality, spectacle, and emotion, and apparently, I had delivered all three in a flawless package. Before I could even pack my bags for another long walk, messages started flooding in. Some were from journalists asking for interviews. Others were from event planners offering me opportunities to speak, perform, or host. Brands wanted to collaborate. Wedding planners wanted me as a special guest for their most luxurious events. Even the bride from the wedding messaged me directly. I can't believe this. I just wanted you to enjoy the day, and now the whole world knows about it. Thank you again for being amazing. Let's keep in touch. You belong in the spotlight. I laughed nervously. Me? In the spotlight? I was just a girl who had been told she was too dramatic to be included in her cousin's life. Now, strangers were calling me inspiring. By mid-afternoon, the news had spread beyond social media. A local online magazine featured me in a full article titled, "The Unexpected Star Who Stole a Wedding and Our Hearts." The piece described my presence as transformative, magnetic, and unforgettable. It quoted guests who had attended the wedding, all praising my energy, humor, and raw authenticity. It was surreal. People I had never met before recognized me in public. At a cafe, a barista shouted, "Hey, you're the wedding girl, the dramatic one." Instead of asking my name, I froze, cheeks burning with a mix of embarrassment and pride. In that moment, I realized my life had changed permanently, whether I liked it or not. But fame comes with its own complicated mix of excitement and pressure. Not everyone celebrated me. My cousin's friends started sending thinly veiled insults online, mocking my videos and calling me attention-seeking or over the top. Some distant relatives even tagged me, writing, "Still too dramatic for family events, huh?" I hesitated for a moment. The old me, the girl who shrank at exclusion, felt a pang of insecurity. But then I remembered the smiles, the applause, the genuine joy I had experienced the day before. I wasn't performing for them. I was being unapologetically me, and that alone had created magic. By evening, my inbox exploded with invites. One from a famous influencer asked if I would appear on their live stream to recount The viral wedding incident. Another, a luxury brand, offered me a contract to attend high-profile events as a social ambassador. And then there was the strangest one of all, an anonymous message that read simply, "We need you for something bigger, something life-changing. Are you ready?" Curiosity mingled with excitement. I had no idea what they meant, but something inside me stirred. I was no longer just the cousin who couldn't attend her own family's wedding. I was someone who could make moments unforgettable, someone whose energy could light up rooms and capture the attention of thousands, or even millions. That night, as I scrolled through the endless notifications, I realized something fundamental. Life had a strange way of punishing you for what it perceives as flaws, and sometimes it rewarded you in the most unexpected ways for the very same traits. Being too dramatic wasn't a curse, it was a ticket to opportunity. The following days were a whirlwind. Interviews, collaborations, social media challenges featuring me, and even messages from aspiring performers wanting advice. It all came at once. I found myself laughing more than I had in years, living moments I hadn't dared to dream of, and embracing the chaos of this newfound fame. And yet, despite all the excitement, a small part of me worried about my cousin. The exclusion had hurt after all. One evening, as I stared at the phone, a realization hit me. The story wasn't just about me gaining fame. It was about turning rejection into triumph, heartbreak into opportunity, and humiliation into empowerment. I made a decision. I wasn't going to let jealousy, resentment, or family drama define me. I would take the energy, the dramatic energy, and channel it into something unforgettable. After all, if the internet loved me for being myself, why not embrace it fully? Little did I know, the viral moment at a stranger's wedding was just the opening act. Fame has a way of spiraling, and mine was about to explode in ways I never imagined. Invitations to more high-profile events arrived, each more extravagant than the last. People wanted me to perform, speak, and even host segments of viral content. And every step forward came with the thrill of the unexpected, the kind that had once terrified me, but now electrified me. By the end of the week, I was no longer just the dramatic cousin. I had become a symbol of joy, authenticity, and spontaneity, a person whose very essence could captivate audiences worldwide. And deep down, I knew this was just the beginning. The universe had a way of turning rejection into opportunity, and I had just learned how to ride that wave. The thrill of going viral was intoxicating, but fame is never just glitter and applause. By the end of the second week, the first storm of backlash hit me. It started subtly, a few snide comments here, a sarcastic meme there, but quickly escalated into a full-blown social media circus. It seemed that some people couldn't handle someone gaining recognition overnight, especially someone they deemed too dramatic. My cousin, naturally, wasn't pleased. I saw a post shared by a mutual relative that read, "Some people just can't take a hint. Stay in your lane, drama queen." Her friends flooded the comments with laughing emojis and mocking remarks. At first, I felt that old, familiar sting of rejection, but then I paused and remembered what I had learned at the stranger's wedding. People who didn't like me weren't the audience I needed to impress. My stage wasn't limited to family approval, it was worldwide, and the world seemed to love my energy. Still, the negativity escalated. A viral gossip page picked up the story, twisting it into a narrative of cousins' wedding ruined by unexpected guest. My face was everywhere, paired with exaggerated captions. Headlines screamed, "Drama queen crashes wedding," and "Stranger steals the spotlight, leaves family behind." I could have panicked, but instead, I did something unexpected. I posted a short video on my own social media, addressing the controversy. Yes, I was at a wedding I wasn't invited to. Yes, I made a toast. And yes, it seems the internet loved it. But here's the thing, life is too short to shrink for anyone else's comfort. If being dramatic, passionate, and unapologetically myself makes people happy, then I'll keep doing it. The response was electric. Support poured in. Messages from strangers flooded my inbox. "You're an inspiration. Finally, someone who isn't afraid to shine." I want your confidence. Even influencers reached out, praising my poise under scrutiny. And just as my confidence soared, a new twist arrived. A rival emerged, someone I had never met but whose influence could rival mine. Her name was Bianca, a social media star known for elegant wedding content and curated perfection. She had millions of followers and a reputation for spotlight-stealing antics. When she posted a short clip mocking me, the caption read, "Some people think drama equals charm. Reality check. It doesn't." The comment section exploded. Some sided with her, some with me. But the truth was, Bianca was formidable. She had charisma, strategy, and an army of followers ready to amplify her every word. My casual, spontaneous charm was about to clash with a meticulously curated persona, and the world was watching. I didn't back down. In fact, I embraced the challenge. I posted more videos, fun, chaotic, heartfelt snippets that showcase my energy, humor, and authenticity. I let my audience see the raw, unfiltered me, the side that laughed too loudly, cried too easily, and celebrated life without hesitation. The contrast between Bianca's polished perfection and my unrestrained energy created a perfect storm online. Within days, the rivalry became a sensation. Social media algorithms fueled the drama, pitting us against each other in playful, viral battles. Comments compared our styles, memes highlighted our differences, and hashtags like #DramaQueen versus Bianca trended worldwide. Brands and event planners watched closely, sensing a potential goldmine of engagement. Amidst this chaos, I received an invitation that stunned me. A producer from a popular streaming platform reached out, offering me a chance to star in a reality show centered on my sudden rise to fame. The pitch was simple: capture my daily life, my interactions with strangers, my viral adventures, and of course, the ongoing drama with Bianca. My heart raced. This was the opportunity of a lifetime, but also a gamble. Reality TV could magnify both the adoration and criticism. I hesitated, weighing the risk of total exposure against the possibility of cementing my position as a viral sensation. Finally, I made my decision. I would do it. If life had taught me anything in the past few weeks, it was that fortune favored boldness. If being dramatic had gotten me this far, why shy away now? I had transformed rejection into opportunity once, why not again? Little did I know, accepting the offer would thrust me into a world far more intense than any wedding toast or social media video. The cameras, the contracts, the rivalries, they were just the beginning. Behind the scenes, tensions simmered, friendships would be tested, and the line between reality and performance blurred. And through it all, one truth remained clear: I wasn't just surviving the chaos, I was thriving in it. The world had labeled me too dramatic, but now, it was my superpower. By the time the first filming day arrived, my follower count had tripled. Fans sent gifts, letters, and countless messages of encouragement. I walked onto the set with a mix of nerves and exhilaration, ready to prove that authenticity could outshine perfection, and that being too much could be exactly what the world needed. The cameras rolled, lights blazed, and for the first time, I felt truly alive. Stepping onto the set of the reality show felt like entering a completely new universe. Cameras glinted under harsh studio lights, assistants scurried with clipboards, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee mixed with a faint scent of anxiety. I realized quickly that this wasn't just a casual filming session. It was a meticulously crafted stage for chaos, drama, and viral moments. The first few hours were nerve-wracking. Producers asked questions, crew members tested lighting angles, and I was made to repeat gestures and expressions several times. I felt the tension bubbling inside me, the familiar too dramatic energy waiting to explode. But then, I remembered my philosophy: authenticity above all. If I could capture that raw energy on camera, the audience would connect, and the critics would have no choice but to watch. Soon, the first high-profile event was announced: a luxurious charity gala in the heart of the city, complete with chandeliers, celebrity hosts, and an endless array of flashing cameras. Invitations had been sent months in advance, but my sudden rise to fame landed me a VIP seat. My outfit, a sequined silver gown with a plunging neckline, sparkled under the lights, making me feel both exposed and empowered. As I entered the grand ballroom, whispers spread instantly. People turned, cameras followed, and for a moment, I felt the old pang of being observed like I was on display. Yet this time, it was exactly what I wanted. I scanned the room and immediately spotted Bianca. She looked flawless, as always, a perfect smile plastered across her face. But there was something different in her eyes, a flicker of concern, maybe even challenge. She had noticed my rise, and this was our first public encounter since the online rivalry exploded. "Fancy seeing you here," she said smoothly, her voice dripping with controlled charm. "Likewise," I replied, letting a small, mischievous smile curl my lips. "Seems the world loves drama after all." Her smile tightened slightly. The battle lines were drawn. Throughout the night, I navigated the glitz and glamour, shaking hands, posing for photos, and engaging in small talk. But I didn't just blend into the background, I made an impression. A viral clip of me laughing loudly at a toast, spilling champagne accidentally, and then playfully apologizing, went online within minutes. Within hours, hashtags like #DramaQueenGala and #UnexpectedStar were trending worldwide. Amid the chaos, unexpected alliances formed. One influential celebrity, a renowned actress known for her candor and humor, approached me with a wink. "You've got guts, kid," she whispered. "Not many people can walk into a room like that and own it. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to survive this world without losing yourself." Her words were like a lifeline. I realized quickly that the reality show wouldn't just be about viral moments. It would also be about networking, strategy, and knowing who to trust. Some people wanted to use me, some wanted to mentor me, and some simply wanted to watch me fail. The night escalated further when a minor disaster occurred. A photographer accidentally knocked over a champagne tower, sending sparkling liquid cascading across the floor. Gasps echoed, shoes slipped, and chaos ensued, but I turned it into a moment of comedic brilliance. I leaped in, laughing, and helped stabilize the glasses while cracking jokes. A clip of the incident went viral immediately, captioned, "Drama Queen Saves Gala. Chaos becomes comedy." The audience loved it. I realized that turning accidents into performance was now part of my skill set. As the gala ended, Bianca approached again, her composure unwavering. "Not bad," she admitted quietly. "Seems you've got a talent for surviving attention." "And seems you underestimate me," I countered, a glint of determination in my eyes. Walking out of the gala into the crisp night air, I felt exhilarated, exhausted, and unstoppable. The reality show cameras captured every moment, every laugh, every stumble, and every triumphant grin. And I knew this was just the beginning. The world was watching, and I had the stage. Back at my apartment, I scrolled through the online coverage. Every video, article, and comment reinforced one undeniable truth. Being unapologetically myself was no longer a liability, it was a superpower. But fame is a double-edged sword. Alongside admiration came envy, scrutiny, and pressure. Bianca wasn't the only one watching. Sponsors, fans, critics, and even distant relatives were invested in my next move. Every gesture, every post, every smile had the potential to explode into another viral moment or disaster. Little did I know, the next challenge would be even more personal. A private invitation arrived for Anne. Exclusive wedding of a celebrity couple, front row exposure, high stakes, and an audience primed to judge. My performance there could elevate my status or threaten to unravel everything I had built. I sat on my couch, heart racing, realizing something profound. Life had gone from exclusion to viral fame in a matter of weeks. And now, it demanded more than courage. It demanded strategy, authenticity, and the ability to navigate chaos with poise. And I was ready. The invitation arrived like a golden envelope, in the mail embossed with the couple's initials and sealed with a wax stamp. A celebrity wedding, front row access, cameras, paparazzi, and me, somehow, in the perfect position to either shine or completely implode. I had spent hours preparing my outfit, balancing elegance with personality. The gown sparkled in a muted champagne hue, just enough to catch the lights without screaming for attention. My hair was styled to perfection, and I had practiced my smile, one that could convey warmth, humor, and confidence all at once. After all, the internet would be watching, live and in real time. When I arrived at the venue, the grandeur of it nearly stole my breath. Crystal chandeliers, manicured gardens, luxury cars lining the driveway, and an army of security personnel controlling the crowd. Paparazzi cameras flashed as I stepped out of the car, and for a moment, I felt that familiar twinge of nerves, but then I reminded myself, this was my stage. Inside, the wedding was a spectacle. Celebrities mingled, champagne flowed, and the air was thick with anticipation. Bianca was there too, seated with an entourage, radiating, composed perfection. She shot me a quick glance, a smirk that said, "We'll see who really shines today." The ceremony began flawlessly. Vows were exchanged, music filled the air, and cameras captured every detail. I kept my presence subtle, yet magnetic. And then it happened, the shocking twist. During the reception, a minor accident occurred near the dessert table. A waiter tripped, sending a tray of Claire's flying toward a table full of socialites. Gasps erupted, everyone froze. And in that split second, instinct kicked in. I dove forward, grabbing the tray midair and redirecting it safely to a nearby server. Laughter and applause erupted immediately. Phones came out. Videos were recorded. Within minutes, social media was ablaze. Drama queen saves celebrity wedding. Unexpected heroine steals the spotlight. It should have been a perfect victory moment, but it wasn't. In the midst of the chaos, someone had taken a video of me interacting with the groom. A candid smile, a laugh that looked intimate in the footage. The clip went viral within hours, misinterpreted as a scandalous flirtation. Headlines screamed, "Drama queen flirts at celebrity. Wedding, who is she really?" My phone exploded. Notifications, DMs, hashtags, and comments poured in from millions of viewers. Some were supportive, cheering my charm and quick reflexes. Others were venomous, accusing me of attention-seeking behavior, of being inappropriate, and of stealing the limelight where I didn't belong. Bianca, of course, made the most of it. She posted a subtle, insinuating comment. Some people confuse heroics with drama. Just a thought. Her army of followers jumped on the bandwagon. And suddenly, I was at the center of a full-blown scandal. I felt my stomach twist. The old familiar anxiety gnawed at me, the one that had been buried beneath the confidence of the past weeks. But then I remembered the lessons I had learned. Authenticity wins. Chaos can be turned into opportunity. And the world loves a comeback. I took a deep breath and did something bold. I posted a short video on my own account, addressing the frenzy head-on. Yes, I was at the wedding. Yes, there was an accident. And yes, I laughed with the groom, but nothing inappropriate happened. I helped prevent chaos, and that's what I want to be remembered for. Life is messy, humans are imperfect, and sometimes drama saves the day. The response was immediate. Supporters rallied behind me. Celebrities I had interacted with publicly sent private messages of encouragement. Even the bride herself reached out, laughing. "You were amazing today. Anyone criticizing you clearly doesn't understand what it takes to keep a wedding running smoothly. Thank you for being so fearless." But as the digital storm calmed, I realized something crucial. Fame wasn't just about moments of triumph, it was about navigating public perception, handling misinterpretation, and thriving under pressure. Bianca's subtle attacks were now just the beginning. New rivals, jealous influencers, and media pundits were waiting for me to slip. The shocking twist came later that night, as I was leaving the venue. A limousine pulled up beside me, and a mysterious figure stepped out. The person handed me an envelope and whispered, "If you think today was intense, wait until you see what's next. This is bigger than weddings and drama. Are you ready?" My heart raced. The envelope was thick, official looking, with a wax seal I didn't recognize. Inside were documents hinting at a secret invitation, an opportunity that could catapult me into the next level of fame, influence, and global recognition. But it also came with risk, immense risk. As I walked away, city lights reflecting off the wet pavement, I realized the truth. Life had evolved into something far more chaotic, thrilling, and unpredictable than I had ever imagined. Every step, every choice, every tweet and video now carried the weight of millions of eyes watching, judging, and reacting. And somewhere deep inside, I felt alive like never before. The too dramatic girl had survived rejection, conquered viral fame, navigated rivalries, and now stood on the edge of something enormous, something that could define the next chapter of her life forever. The envelope in my hand felt heavier than it should have, as if it carried not just paper, but the weight of destiny itself. Back at my apartment, I carefully opened it, revealing an elegant card and a set of documents. The card was embossed with gold lettering. Congratulations. Your presence is requested at a private event of global significance. Attendance is strictly limited. Invitations are non-transferable. Your response is required immediately. I stared at the words, my pulse quickening. Private event? Global significance? My mind raced through possibilities. Was this some exclusive fashion gala, a billionaire's party, or a hidden filming opportunity? The documents attached explained that it was a secret international event involving a collaboration of elite influencers, celebrities, and high-profile brands. Attendance would grant unprecedented exposure but also scrutiny on a scale I had never experienced. My first instinct was fear. I had been riding a wave of viral fame for weeks, and now I was being asked to step into a world I didn't fully understand. One wrong move could end my momentum, or worse, tarnish the reputation I had painstakingly built. But then, a thrill surged through me, the kind I hadn't felt since the stranger's wedding weeks ago. This was a challenge, a chance to test my authenticity on a global stage. And more importantly, it was a chance to prove that being too dramatic was not a flaw, but a strength. I immediately confirmed my attendance. Within hours, my travel arrangements were made: a private jet, a luxury hotel suite, and an itinerary packed with exclusive appearances. The reality show crew insisted on filming my journey, capturing my thoughts, anxieties, and triumphs in real time. Cameras would document everything, from my arrival to interactions with elite personalities across the world. As I boarded the jet, Bianca's shadow loomed again. She had also received an invitation, her image appearing briefly on the newsfeed. The tension between us was palpable. Unlike before, this wasn't just about viral moments or social media rivalries. This was international exposure. The stakes were higher, the scrutiny magnified, and the potential for chaos immense. The flight was a blur of anticipation. I rehearsed conversations, envisioned the moments I wanted to capture, and tried to predict the pitfalls. But deep down, I knew that nothing could fully prepare me. Authenticity doesn't come with scripts or rehearsals. It comes from daring to be unapologetically yourself. Arriving in a foreign city, I was greeted by a luxury car service, whisking me through neon-lit streets toward the venue. The architecture was breathtaking, historic yet modern, opulent yet understated. Security was intense. Screens scanned my invitation, and assistants guided me to a private lounge. Other invitees were already there. International influencers with millions of followers, fashion icons, media moguls, and celebrities I had only admired from afar. Cameras documented introductions, laughter, and the subtle power dynamics unfolding in real time. Each person I met was a master of influence, charisma, or style. And there I was, a girl who had stumbled into fame through a stranger's wedding, now standing on equal footing with them. The first night was a dinner reception unlike any I had experienced. Gold-rimmed plates, crystal glassware, and a menu that read like a novel. Conversation flowed, alliances formed subtly, and rivalries simmered beneath polite smiles. I could feel Bianca observing me, her gaze calculating. The tension between us was unspoken but electrifying, a silent battle that could explode at any moment. During a brief moment alone, I reflected on how far I had come. Weeks ago, I had been excluded from my cousin's wedding. Now, I was walking among the world's most influential personalities, cameras capturing every gesture, every laugh, every authentic reaction. The path from rejection to opportunity had been dizzying, unpredictable, and utterly exhilarating. Yet, amidst the glamour, I sensed the stakes rising. Social media would be watching. The reality show cameras would be documenting, and every action could become a headline. Every interaction, every laugh, every misstep could define me. The thrill was intoxicating, but so was the pressure. And then the twist arrived. During a private announcement, the event organizer revealed that select attendees would be invited to participate in an exclusive, high-stakes challenge designed to test influence, charisma, and authenticity under pressure. Winners would gain access to elite opportunities, collaborations, and unprecedented exposure. My heart pounded. This was at the next level, but the challenge was unpredictable, and failure could mean humiliation on a global stage. As the announcement ended, I glanced at Bianca. Her composed exterior masked a fire I could see in her eyes. She was ready. I was ready. The secret international event had begun, and the game had officially escalated. The morning of the challenge arrived with a tension that was almost tangible. The sunlight streaming through the floor to ceiling. Windows of the hotel suite did little to ease my nerves. Around me, other participants, celebrities, influencers, and socialites bustled with rehearsed confidence, each preparing to claim their place in the spotlight. I, however, relied on my one advantage: authenticity. The event organizer, a charismatic yet enigmatic figure, addressed the group. Welcome to the Influence Challenge. Today, you will be tested on your ability to captivate, inspire, and navigate high-pressure social situations. Your performance will be broadcast to a global audience. Only those who combine charisma, authenticity, and strategic thinking will succeed. My heart raced. Global audience, high pressure, stakes higher than anything I had ever faced. The first task was deceptively simple. Attendees were paired into teams and asked to host a mini event in front of cameras, creating content that would go live instantly on social media. But the catch was clear: every movement, every word, every reaction would be judged. Likes, shares, engagement metrics, these would determine winners and losers. I glanced around, immediately spotting Bianca. Her team was already strategizing, her aura radiating meticulous control. She caught my eye and gave a small smirk, a silent reminder. This was no longer about weddings or even fame, it was war. I joined my team, a mix of international influencers with varying degrees of experience. Our strategy? Embrace chaos, highlight authenticity, and tell a story that resonated emotionally with the audience. I could feel my nerves turning into adrenaline. This was my element: the unpredictability, the raw emotion, the energy that made people connect with Muin. The cameras rolled. We went live. I started with a story: humorous, heartfelt, dramatic, about my journey from rejection at my cousin's wedding to unexpected viral fame. My teammates complimented me with visuals, props, and interactive segments. Engagement skyrocketed within minutes. Comments poured in. She's amazing. Best content ever. Drama queen for life. And then came the first betrayal. One team member, secretly communicating with Bianca's team, attempted to undermine our performance by leaking our content strategy. I noticed the subtle shifts: whispered instructions, mischievous glances. The sense of betrayal stung, but I didn't let it show. Instead, I improvised, turning the leak into an advantage. I added unexpected twists to our story, making it even more engaging. The audience went wild. The engagement numbers soared. Within hours, the clip trended globally. Hashtags like #DramaQueenChallenge and #UnexpectedStar dominated feeds. I had turned sabotage into spectacle, chaos into triumph. But the tension didn't end there. Bianca's team delivered a flawless, polished performance, predictable, controlled yet breathtaking in its execution. Their engagement was high, but it lacked the raw, emotional connection that our performance carried. The judges, a panel of elite influencers and media executives, deliberated intensely. When the results were announced, my heart pounded. Winner of the first round, Team Drama. Cheers erupted. Cameras captured every smile, every hug, every moment of victory. I felt a surge of pride and relief. Authenticity had won, unpredictability had triumphed, and my too dramatic energy had proven its worth on a global stage. Yet, the challenge was far from over. The next round would involve one-on-one influence battles, direct competition with another participant, including Bianca. The stakes would be higher, the scrutiny sharper, and the risk of public failure immense. Later, backstage, Bianca approached me. Her smile was measured, her eyes calculating. "You were lucky this round," she said. "Next time, I won't hold back." "And neither will I replied, a fierce determination burning inside me. As I prepared for the next challenge, I reflected on how far I had come. From being excluded at my cousin's wedding to standing on an international stage. Viral fame had been exhilarating, chaotic, and transformative. But now, the game had entered a level where every move mattered, every word carried weight, and every gesture could either elevate or destroy me. The cameras would be waiting, the audience would be watching, and Bianca, she would be ready to strike. This was no longer just a story about viral fame. It was a battle for influence, authenticity, and survival in the unpredictable world of global attention. The air was electric. The stage was set, cameras positioned from every angle, and a live global audience waiting to witness the one-on-one showdown. Bianca and I stood at opposite ends, both aware that this round would define not just the challenge, but potentially our entire reputations. The rules were simple, yet merciless. Each participant had 10 minutes to engage the audience, influence opinions, and create content that would outshine the opponent. Judges would monitor engagement, creativity, and authenticity. The stakes were as high as they could get. Bianca started first. Her performance was flawless, polished, poised, every word rehearsed to perfection. She delivered a narrative about personal branding, meticulous lifestyle, and influence in the digital age. Cameras loved her. The audience clapped politely. It was beautiful, yet somehow sterile. Then it was my turn. I took a deep breath and let the cameras capture me as I embraced my chaos. I started with humor, then shifted to raw, heartfelt stories about my journey, from being excluded at my cousin's wedding to stumbling into viral fame, from strangers' support to public scrutiny. I laughed. I gestured wildly. I even improvised moments that weren't planned, engaging with both the live audience and the viewers at home. The energy shifted immediately. Comments exploded. Likes, shares, and comments surged in real time. People were not just watching, they were reacting, emotionally connecting, and cheering for authenticity. I was too dramatic, yes, but in a way that captivated millions. Bianca's face, visible on the screens behind me, showed a flicker of frustration. She had predicted a controlled battle, not an emotional storm of spontaneity and raw charm. The contrast was stark, and the audience felt it. Mid-performance, another twist hit. One of the judges deliberately introduced a surprise element. I had to improvise a live interaction with a celebrity guest. The pressure was immense. Any misstep could ruin my flow. I glanced at Bianca, whose expression betrayed a flicker of panic masked by her composure. I stepped forward, engaged the guest, and incorporated them seamlessly into my story. Cameras captured every laugh, every reaction, and the live audience erupted in applause. Social media exploded. Clips were reposted, hashtags trended, and comments poured in. Drama queen owns the stage. Bianca who's. This is the content we didn't know we needed. By the end of my 10 minutes, it was clear. The energy had shifted completely. Authenticity had won over polish. Spontaneity had conquered strategy. And the audience had chosen. The judges deliberated for what felt like hours. Tension crackled like static electricity in the room. Finally, the head judge stepped forward. Winner of this showdown. They paused for dramatic effect. Drama queen. The crowd erupted. Bianca's smirk vanished, replaced by a mask of controlled composure. But her eyes revealed something more: respect, grudging acknowledgement, and a hint of envy. Cameras captured the moment. Every reaction, every nuance, would be replayed and dissected across social media for weeks. Backstage, Bianca approached. Her tone was measured, almost cordial. "You were unpredictable," she admitted. "I didn't see that coming. I underestimated you, and you should never underestimate authenticity," I replied, a triumphant grin on my face. The victory, however, was bittersweet. Alongside celebration came a wave of chaos. Fans, influencers, and media outlets debated fiercely online. Some praised me, others criticized, and conspiracy theories about staged performances and alliances circulated wildly. My social media blew up, flooded with praise, hate, memes, and viral clips. That night, alone in my suite, I reflected on the whirlwind. From rejection to viral fame, international exposure, and a dramatic showdown, my journey had been unpredictable, chaotic, and exhilarating. But the truth was clear. Being too dramatic wasn't a flaw, it was my power. My energy, authenticity, and fearlessness had carried me through, turning obstacles into opportunities and critics into fans. Yet, the challenge wasn't over. The next round promised a global collaboration event, pitting participants against each other in more complex scenarios, testing influence, charisma, and emotional intelligence on an unprecedented scale. And I knew that while I had won this battle, the war was far from over. As I looked at the city skyline from my window, lights shimmering like a sea of stars, I realized one undeniable truth. The world had labeled me too dramatic, but now, it was my superpower, and I was only just beginning to wield it. The next day arrived with a whirlwind of anticipation. The global collaboration event was billed as the ultimate test, a live, worldwide broadcast combining creativity, strategy, and influence. Every participant would be paired with another international influencer to co-create content, live streamed to millions. Success meant exposure, alliances, and potentially life-changing opportunities. Failure, well, failure meant public humiliation on a massive scale. I was paired with an influential lifestyle vlogger from Europe, a sharp-witted, charming personality who immediately impressed me with her energy. Our strategy was simple: merge humor with authenticity, storytelling with spontaneity, and ensure the audience felt connected to both of us. I felt a surge of excitement. I thrived in chaos, and this was a stage tailor-made for me. But the underlying tension was unmistakable. Bianca had been paired with a media mogul known for ruthless tactics. I caught glimpses of her whispered strategies, her calculating glances, and I realized that this round wasn't just about creativity, it was a battlefield. As the cameras started rolling, the energy was electric. My team began with an interactive segment, telling stories, improvising, and engaging the live audience. The engagement metrics skyrocketed within minutes. Comments flooded in, hashtags trended globally, and even mainstream media began covering snippets of the live broadcast. It was going perfectly until the betrayal hit. Midway through the live stream, I noticed subtle interference from another participant, deliberate misdirection, leaked content from our private prep sessions, and attempts to undermine our performance in real time. Someone was trying to sabotage us, and the evidence pointed unmistakably toward a hidden alliance that included Bianca's team. My heart raced, but I didn't panic. I leaned into the chaos, improvising on the spot, turning their attempts to derail us into comedic and emotional moments. The audience, unaware of the behind-the-scenes sabotage, reacted with delight. Clips went viral instantly. Drama queen turns betrayal into brilliance. Unstoppable energy. She's rewriting the rules of live content. Meanwhile, Bianca noticed my handling of the situation. Her controlled composure faltered slightly, something I hadn't seen before. The subtle cracks in her strategy were captured by cameras and social media users alike. My authenticity was resonating far more than her polished approach. By the end of the event, the results were overwhelming. My team's live stream had not only outperformed expectations, it had dominated. Millions of views, trending hashtags, and praise poured in from every corner of the globe. Sponsors, influencers, and media executives reached out instantly, recognizing the raw magnetism and unpredictability that I brought to the table. Backstage, the truth of the betrayal came to light. The hidden alliance had hoped to exploit Bianca's polish and my spontaneous chaos against me, but I had turned it into an advantage, proving that authenticity and adaptability were far more powerful than manipulation. Bianca approached me afterward, her expression a mix of frustration and reluctant respect. "You're impossible to predict," she said quietly. "I've never seen anyone turn sabotage into success like that, and that's why you underestimated me," I replied, smiling. The exposure was unparalleled. News outlets around the world ran features about the live event, highlighting my energy, resilience, and unfiltered authenticity. Social media exploded with memes, articles, and tributes. Even the hidden saboteurs were now facing scrutiny for their failed attempts, their missteps amplified by the very platforms they sought to exploit. That night, as I reflected on the whirlwind of the past few weeks, from being excluded at my cousin's wedding to global viral fame and international recognition, I realized the magnitude of what had just happened. Fame had tested me, the world had scrutinized me, rivals had challenged me, and I had emerged not just unscathed, but stronger, more confident, and unstoppable. Yet, deep down, I knew the story wasn't over. Every level of exposure brought new stakes, new challenges, and new opportunities. Fame was a game with no final round, and I was learning quickly that in this game, unpredictability was my greatest asset. And somewhere in the chaos of celebration and viral coverage, a new message arrived, another secret opportunity, hinting at even higher stakes, a level of exposure and influence I had never imagined. The journey was far from over, and the world had only begun to see what the too dramatic girl could achieve. The final day of the international event arrived like a storm, charged, electric, and filled with anticipation. Cameras were positioned everywhere, drones hovered above, and the audience, both live and global, waited for the climactic moments of this extraordinary journey. Bianca and I had reached the last round, the ultimate showdown. This wasn't just about creativity or influence, it was about leaving an indelible mark, creating a viral moment that would be remembered long after the lights dimmed. The task, a collaborative live performance where authenticity, spontaneity, and audience engagement would determine the winner. The twist? Each participant would be given a surprise element mid-performance, designed to test adaptability under pressure. As the cameras rolled, I drew in a deep breath. My journey flashed before my eyes. The cousin's wedding rejection, the stranger's ceremony that catapulted me to viral fame, the reality show, Bianca's rivalry, high-stakes collaborations, sabotage, betrayal, and global exposure. Every step had prepared me for this moment. The performance began flawlessly. I wove humor, heart, and drama into an authentic narrative, engaging both the live audience and viewers around the world. Then came the surprise twist. A celebrity guest joined midstream with a shocking revelation, an unannounced challenge that required instant improvisation. My heart raced. This was the ultimate test, but instead of panicking, I embraced it, turning chaos into comedy, tension into triumph. The cameras captured every reaction, every laugh, every spontaneous gesture. The audience went wild. Social media exploded instantly. Clips went viral. Hashtags trended, and memes multiplied. Comments poured in. This is the drama queen we all needed. Absolute icon. Unstoppable energy. She owns the world stage again. Bianca's composed exterior cracked slightly under the intensity of the moment. She performed flawlessly in her style, but in a world craving authenticity. My unpredictable, heartfelt approach resonated more. When the judges announced the winner, there was no suspense. The ultimate victor of the global event. Drama queen. Applause. Cheers. Flashes, the culmination of weeks of chaos, triumph, and relentless authenticity. I had gone from being too dramatic at a family wedding to conquering the world stage, turning obstacles into opportunities and criticism into admiration. Backstage, media interviews, fan meet and greets, and sponsor offers flooded in. Every headline celebrated my journey, every clip highlighted my energy, and every story emphasized one truth: authenticity wins. Drama isn't a flaw, it's a superpower. As I reflected on the whirlwind, I remembered the girl who had once felt too dramatic, too emotional, too much. That girl had transformed rejection into viral fame, setbacks into global exposure, and chaos into triumph. And now, standing in the final spotlight, I knew one thing for certain. This was just the beginning. If you've loved following this wild journey from being excluded at a wedding to global viral fame, don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories. Like this video if you're inspired by turning rejection into triumph, and comment below your favorite dramatic moment. Your support keeps the story alive and the drama rolling.